Rules of exponents are a struggle for many students, and one of those topics that seems to not make sense initially is why does anything to the 0 power equal 1? So our question today is why does x to the 0 power equal 1? And the first thing you have to remember here is that exponents are just repeated multiplication. So whenever we're dealing with an exponent, we're talking about multiplication. And so let's say we have x to the 5th power over x to the 3rd power. So that just means we're multiplying x 5 times. So we've got x times x times x times x times x divided by x times x times x. And if we're dividing something, those will cancel out, those x's cancel out, and those x's cancel out. So that would leave you with x squared. Another thing that we're looking at here is one of the rules of exponents is when you are dividing the same base. So let's say you've got x to the m power divided by x to the n power. The exponent rule there is we're subtracting the exponents. So x to the m over x to the n means x to the m minus n. So if we take this same problem, x to the 5th over x cubed, that would be x to the 5 minus 3 power, which is x squared. So we get the same thing both times. We get x squared when we multiply them out. We write it out as multiplication. We divide them. Or we get x squared when you subtract the exponents using our rule. So now, if we look at the same base, x to the, we'll say, 9th over x to the 9th, that would be x times x times x times x times x. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're dividing that by itself. So you've got x to the 9th divided by x to the 9th. And remember, when you're dividing, if you divide anything by itself, that's going to equal 1. Or if we multiply, or if we write it out as multiplication of x's, all of those are going to divide. So then that becomes 1. Everything divides out. And then if we look at the rule using subtraction of our exponents here with the same base, we would have x to the 9 minus 9, which becomes x to the 0. And so if we look at these two together, we divided these out here. We divided anything by itself, and we get 1. We write out all 9 of our x's being multiplied, and we divide it by the same thing. All of those x's cancel out. We get 1. And if we use our rule for dividing, we subtract our exponents. 9 minus 9 is 0. And so that is where anything to the 0 power becomes 1. In order to get a 0 power, that means you're subtracting the same exponent in the numerator and denominator. And if you have the same exponent in the numerator and denominator, you're dividing the same number. And remember, any number divided by itself also gives you 1. I hope that helps. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my video, or to my channel, I'm sorry.